Woohoo! Thank you so much for the sub.
Well, well, well. I have to say that I must break character for this. Because what do you mean? It's very nice seeing you all, but Young Professor, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? I know it's like tax season and like you might already done your taxes, but what the hell? Hello? Can we? I'm scared. I'm scared. Thank you, Professor Face. Oh my god. I just have to character break for a second. What the fuck? I can't. Look, yeah, Professor. That's more than 60 pizza slices. I know that you want to go for like 1,000, but like doing great, honey. Oh god. May, oh Face, hello, welcome in, Martini. And also I think I see Neniki and Nalu as well. And Young Professor, thank you again for the support alongside with Face. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh god. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Not gonna lie, when you mentioned pizza, I want a big pack. Oh my god. For real. For real. Hello, Casa. Welcome in. I'm sorry this is your first impression of me, but like, I got a character break for a second because every time Young Professor pulls something like this, I swear to god. I need a... hold on. Give me a moment. I need to clean my glasses real quick and then I'll go back to character. Give me a second. I need to clean my glasses. Yeah, Professor, I swear to god. Yeah, Professor, I swear to god. Oh my god. I hope everyone did their taxes, by the way. Hold on, let me put my glasses back on. Oh my god. Yeah, what the... oh lord. And of course, May. A single cup, welcome in. I have arrived. You have arrived. Sorry, I gotta get back in character. I gotta get back in character. Hold on, I need to give... there's so many things happening all at once. I need to give May a shout out real quick, and I need to give Eggers a shout out. And I need to give... okay, I give everybody a shout out. Hold on. I promise I'll be back in character. Give me just 1 second. Everything's happening all at once. And I'm overstimulated. As Face said. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Welcome to my stream. I'm so happy to see you all. How are you all doing today? We role playing? Yes, we are. For the ones who don't know, my name is Velvet Valentine. Now, Igor, are you doing this on purpose? Oh, hello, doll. Hello, Echo. My baby doll. Welcome in. Well, you really want me to do that. I guess I have to, since it's a redeem. And thank you so much for the hype chest. Thank you, Young Professor. That's my impression of a polite spit. Did you catch that? Anyway, like I was saying, thank you all for coming. We are going to be playing a continuation of another visual novel. I hope I don't bore you all with that. Indeed, it's very nice seeing you all. You all are sweet peas, and it makes me so happy to see you. Of course. A lady must spit politely when asked. Now. I don't condone violence, and I don't want to step on no one. It's been a while. Like I said, my name is Velvet Valentine. And if you don't know me, well, I was born on Valentine's Day, hence the name. But if you are curious about my model, of course, this is not your regular customized model, because it is by Sigh. You can always buy their model on their website. They do have Twitter, and I believe they have Blue Sky as well. This model is for sale. Anyone can buy it. It has wonderful, wonderful emotes, and it rigs really well. Body is tea. Well, thank you. Thank you, dear. You are too kind. Hi, I am Freak. Well, it's nice to meet you, Freak. And don't worry, I've heard of all of you. I've seen you all. And I know about every one of you.
It's for me.
Thank you. I'm glad you like my model. I think the Sigh team did an amazing job. Do I call you just a single cup? What an interesting name. Anywho, I hope you won't be bored of my reading today because we are playing a visual novel game. And there is quite a bit of reading, I must say. But this game has also partial voice acting. Welcome to this week's Chaos Loving Woman. Oh my. Just a guy who enjoys a hot cup of tea. Oh. Well. Can't say no to tea. I love tea. Call me at my private number. I'm afraid I don't have a cell phone. Nokia. Nokia? You mean the brick Nokia? That everyone's been talking about. Yes, I am. I am your mother. Sweet doll, you. Yes, the brick. Alright. I think we're ready for the game. Are you? Sometimes people tell me that they listen to my reading when they want to fall asleep. So, I wonder how many of you are going to fall asleep today. Let me know if my mic is acting up because I'm trying out new settings. If you find that my voice cuts off, you are more than welcome to let me know. How was the volume? Okay? Also, thank you for the ones that are lurking. I do appreciate. A little lower for music? Okay. Is that better? Why are you giving me a sad face? Are those... they do look like disco balls. I'm not too sure.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Crystal Cave.
Thank you. Jojimi, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello there, welcome in. Don't they look like disco balls? They do on my end. Right, they look like 2 disco balls. You had a sad face, another sad face, and 2 disco balls. I'm leaving now? Alright. Please stay safe, doll. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming by. It's time to start the game, shall we? This is a continuation. I do have the VOD saved in the Blue Bob's YouTube channel. I am Doc. Oh. Well, hello there. Nice to meet you, Doc. So if you ever wonder where all the VODs go, it's in the VOD's YouTube channel. And of course, we also have a music cover channel too. Alright, let us start. Oh, don't tell me it's not picking up. Give me one moment. Unfortunate. There you go. You all are so silly. So, it's been a while since I played this game, but I think TLDR, we were summoned into a body that we don't know about, and we were covered in blood, and it seemed like there was a sacrificial ceremony going on, therefore all the blood, but suddenly found out that there are many people around us that has been sacrificed. Don't know why, but we also got saved by these 2 lovely ladies as well, and they are supposed to protect me. I am going to find out who I really am and why I was summoned. It looks like I wasn't the only one that was summoned. So that's quite interesting. We have met another person that might have had the same fate as us. So let's continue, shall we? Let's stop here. Silas points at the stalls at the far end of the square. The house needs rags, some buckets, candles. I will stay here with Velvet while I take care of it. So this is also a decision-making and stat-building visual novel as well. Quite interesting. We have 3 choices. Are we going to take what we need You're going to pay for the items, right? And can't we come with you? Sure. Are you going to take what we need? No? Why would I? I already got my pay for the day. I can afford them. She sounds proud of herself. So, stay here. I'll be right back. Marinee sighs. This is the stat building part of the game, I believe. Does my presence bother you? What's with the deep sigh? You do not have to follow her instructions, or follow her if you don't want to stay here. What about you don't have to follow her instructions? I do not, but she is wiser than I am when it comes to the city. She approaches the statue that oversees the square. It's missing its head. The corners of the octagonal pedestal are jagged with plaster remains. The corners of the said that twice, silly me. Your only hint to the statue's identity is a name etched on the inside of the book. What could this Thericio have done to have his marble form desecrated so? I'm sure Silas knows. You don't have to wait long to test your theory. Soon, Silas approaches you with her bounty. Her new bucket holds some candles and 2 large rags. Look what I got here. That was fast. She winks at you. Silas, who might this be? Marinee gestures towards the statue. No clue. Why? I thought you knew the reason someone had beheaded him. I don't know everything. Marinee's eyes dart from Silas' face to Thericio's open book. What of his name? Do you know of it? No. It's written right here. Then you can learn it on your own. A gasp leaves Marinee's lips. You cannot read. So what? What do you mean, so what? Most people can't. Stupefied, Marinee looks at you. That doesn't change anything. Don't look at me like that, I can. Why is it so shocking to you? What do you want me to say? That doesn't change anything. She isn't less worthy of respect. Do not misunderstand me. I do not pity you. I am outraged on your behalf, Silas. You and countless others have been robbed of something wonderful. Silas shrugs, and that seems to make Marinee even more agitated. It's not too late. You can still learn. Does it look like I have the money for it? When I need something read, I go to the temple and they do it for me. I almost don't even want to butt in. You do have money now I could teach you, or don't say anything. Let's be friendly, shall we? I could teach you. That sounds like a bad idea. Like a fun idea, you mean. You mull over what Silas just said. Temples offer reading services? Yeah. You consider the non-existent state of your finances and the voice that spoke to you by the shrine, guiding you to learn more about the faith of Carolise. Are the services granted for a fee? A donation? It's not mandatory, but I always try to drop a couple of coins because, you know, they're doing it for the Lady of Dawn. Is it something that speaks to you? Is it something that speaks to us? Yes, it sounds lovely. Marinette accepts your answer with a hum. The temple is quite a walk from here. While Anilia's workshop is but a street away, you still don't know why she roused the whisper of all people. Oh, interesting. You are stunned for a moment as the roar that tore through your thoughts abandons its composure. Are you alright? You much prefer the voices to be whispers. It's nothing. You do not want to impose over the seamstress, but it seems you have to. The best way to go about it would be... Telling Anilia that you know something and are on her side is almost like the people-pleasing part of you. Having Anilia work on a piece for you for small talk aplenty. I feel like this is more me. Then you remember you cannot afford even a scrap of fabric. Oh, maybe not. I want to do something, but your eyes fall on the workshop. But you require money. Fear not, I set some of my stipend aside for you. I appreciate it. I'd like for Anilia to make me a garment. I've heard that name before. She is the seamstress from yesterday. What business do you have with her? Thank you for the lurk face. Much appreciated. We can tell her the truth, why not? Aiding her will bring me one step closer to... A moment of poignant silence follows. I see. I don't. She will help me understand, I think. Silas's face scrunches. Then she gasps. She makes you remember. Why didn't you tell us before? She doesn't, really. It matters not for now. I simply love the art of this game. You approach the stitch and seam. Thread is spun and weaved into fabric. Several people are sitting on the floor or at the table, quietly chanting, chatting with thimble and needle, while others press garments with hot irons. Good morning again, miss. Is there anything I can do to help you today? I'd like to have a garment made. I'd be happy to help with that. What are you looking for? What about a blouse more suited for the sweltering months ahead of us? Good one. You're going to bake alive like that in a few weeks. Why don't we take a look at the fabric I have on hand at the moment? Shadows obscure the edge of your vision, and once they have your attention, they dart towards the back, sitting on the ground with her apron spread to her side. Anilia is quietly stitching. Your apprentice was a joy to be around yesterday. Are you talking about Anilia? She's a gem, that one. Would she be interested in making the blouse for me? The seamstress frowns. Why? She still has much to learn when it comes to... Hey, practice a gold opportunity for some. The seamstress looks among you. If you truly insist. Welcome in. She does. I will call for her. I know we need her, but isn't this a bit creepy? Hello there, welcome in. I have to agree. Using someone's job to track them into an outing is not something that makes me particularly comfortable. Do you have an alternative? Not really. Anelia approaches you, looking troubled. Good morning. Good morning. I hope my request didn't trouble you. It did not, but it made me curious. You should spin a story so that the situation appears less sinister. I have seen how reliable you are, and if I have to trust my future garment to anybody's hands, they might as well be hands I find trustworthy. Oh, thank you. She takes a basket from under the table, overflowing with various scraps of fabric. We have most of these at hand. I recommend linen if you're looking for something to wear this season. The weaving is exceptionally fine in this sample. Marinette begins picking scraps and setting them aside. This will take a while, I assume. No more than a couple of hours. Once you're happy with the material, you can discuss the style of the blouse and take some measurements. I like to get involved in the process. Isn't this fabric just perfect? She passes you some scraps. I like how it feels. It can be dyed if you want some color. I think you look good in green. After you settle for the material, Anelia begins taking your measurements. Your shoulders are quite narrow. Now raise your arm, please. She marks the changes on a strip of leather. She might be working on you, but her eyes keep fitting to Marinette. Flitting to Marinette. Miss, I can't help but notice your left sleeve. What about it? It looks exquisite. The construction of it. I wonder if I could perhaps alter the sleeves to replicate it. What do you think, Velvet? That sounds more interesting than plain sleeves. I think we got Anelia more involved now. That's what I thought as well. May I take a close look at them? Naturally. Anelia leaves your side to observe Marinette's dress. I have never seen such a fold. Maybe once. On foreign merchants in passing. Marinette looks conflicted. She takes a deep breath, as if she wants to say something, then bites her lip. Could you raise your arm, please? Ah, the hall seamsters are clever indeed. Silas, who's sitting on the ground with her back against the table's leg, lets out a groan. Say, is it true that the gold that adorns your garments is not mined, but made by magic? Who told you such an outlandish rumor? My mother did. She visited the halls several times in her youth, and they're among her favorite stories that piques your interest. What could have taken her there so often? She was the heiress of a now dissolved house. A whistle comes from under the table. Silas peeks out from it. You a noble? Not anymore. I don't want to pry, but you don't seem distressed about the loss of your title. You're right. I find it liberating. It's nice to be simply myself instead of having the weight of an entire house on my shoulders. This life of labor is unbecoming of her, who was born for a soft life, flowers and shadows. Predictably, the voice does not like Anelia's answers. You must have kept some nice things, though, right? Why do you want to know? Well, they fetch a nice price. Remove the sentimental value, and they're great. I'm afraid my mother sold the last family heirloom some months ago to afford rent. Proof of her lineage shall elevate her. Proof of her blood to mend her hand. Proof of her birthright to let her fall into comfort. Truly, the voice can't possibly expect you to reinstitute her house. Don't mind me. You leave the workshop once the seamstress has everything she needs to make your new blouse. You'll need to come back for a preliminary fitting in 2 days. This took forever. It'll be quicker next time, right? You were so bored back there? You can stay outside next time. I'm sorry you were bored. It should be. It should be. Thank the ladies. Do you have any plans for the hours of light left? I'd like to visit the Temple of Dawn and see it for myself. Follow me then. Tall marble columns adorn the entrance to the Temple of Dawn. Many a bond has light seared in approval, promises of blood, and exchanges of death. Rays pass through the dome and bathe the central room in soft light. The many encounters that line its walls glitter with candles and oil lamps. Silas whispers something to herself and draws a symbol in the air with her hand, a semicircle. Then she looks expectantly at you. Perform the deed. She nods in approval. I'll call for someone. Stay here. Marinette is yet to utter a word. Follow her gaze. The frescoes on the dome depict a young woman with hair as light as sea foam. A series of panels catches your eyes. The young woman steals stars from a figure clad in ghastly robes and sprinkles them all over the sky. More women join the story, one dressed in flaming robes and a hunchback crown. You're looking as well. Your eyes become lost in the details, yet always come back to the creature of shadows being fended off by the 3 ladies. Are you familiar with the story of the frescoes? I'm afraid not. Who do you think serves as the villain? It could be the Abyss. If that was the case, more people would know of its existence. Silas approaches you with the priest in tow. Here, brother, this is velvet. May dawn light your every step. Likewise. He chuckles. Something tells you that wasn't the correct answer. Oh no. She has lost her memories. It's not her fault. I did not fault her for anything. He guides you towards one of the empty counters. There are sheets of yellowed paper stacked underneath, quills and some ink pots, plus some candles. Come during the day and I will send a crier to alert the faithful. At the end of the day, some of the donations collected for the service will go to you, and the rest to the temple. Any questions? Silas, Marinette, what will you do while I'm here? You will have no need of me, so I will return to the halls. You do that. I'll be around. You thank the priest and leave. I'm starving, miss. Are you paying tonight as well? No, I'm afraid I must retire to the halls early. We could escort you to the halls, and I would gladly accept. Silas doesn't seem to share your sentiment, but doesn't complain on the way. Once faced with the waterfall that spills from the bricks, Marinette steps inside and disappears. That's so creepy. Silas shows you the goosebumps on her arms. You know what could fix this? Some meat from the rose. Let's go. The rose is overwhelming. Music, scents, countless voices, the dry heat of smoke. You take a moment to get used to it all, and unclasp your cloak to hang it on the wall. Alfian is lounging on the same couch as the day before, lute in hand. But the people draped around him are different. Snag that table before someone else does. He hurries to the counter. It's been a long day. You're zoning out. Silas comes back with a plate and 2 cups of water. Thank you. Don't worry about it. Silas throws herself on the food, and dinner is a quiet affair made colorful by the music and chorus of voices all around you. The streets are quiet. Oil lamps light the way inside the heart. But once you cross the bridge to the eastern hull, everything is plunged into darkness. Let's be quiet. The moon glows high in the sky, giving everything a cold gleam. It shines, in the distance, on a blade being drawn. Shit. A small band gets on their feet, men and women both. Unsheath your dagger. Oh, the miss is feisty. It's time for the confrontation you crave. Your words can disperse them. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Let's try that. Heavy like honey drops, sharp like thorns, your words pierce their will. You will leave us be. Cut through their desires, sever them. Hungry as they are, they will not see you as prey. Their shoulders bend, their heads bow. Velvet, your eyes. It's what she wants to hear. Her eyes glaze over as she nods. We should go. You show the ruffians your back. They ignore you. I can't believe we managed to get out of there unscathed. Are groups like those normal? They're usually alone or with a pal. Can handle 2 people, not 5. Never seen a group that big. This side of the canal is wild. Her posture deflates. What do you say? Time to hit the hay? Footsteps wake you up. They turn into creaking as Silas descends the stairs. You hear the door whine open, then close. How strange. Is Silas upset? You dress yourself and walk downstairs as well. The door to the privy is open, and the 2 buckets are gone. The wooden tub in the middle of the room still looks out of place, far too lavish for the rest of the place. The door swings open. Silas has filled the buckets with water, and she places them by the entrance before closing the door behind herself. Hey, what's wrong? I had a strange dream. Your eyes were glowing, and it looked so real. was. What did you do to them? I saw it. You did it to me too. She fears you. I hoped your opinion on me wouldn't change. Kinda hard after seeing you control them like that. Does the miss know? Is that why she acts so chummy with you? Has she always known? I think so. Silence falls between. Silas takes one of the buckets and heads for the privy. I'll go refresh myself. All right. After you wash away, sleep as well, you find her sitting at the table. I don't remember if you know how to use the dagger I gave you. I don't. She hums. When Marinee arrives, she brings a basket full of fragrant, dark bread sprinkled with olives. Something happened between you two? Silas glares at her. Tell Marinee what happened. We met some ruffians on the way back from the Rose. Marinee places the basket on the table. Without a word, Silas reaches for breakfast. And now, Silas has seen the first hand what I can do. And what would that be? I hate it when you do that. Asking questions when you know the answer. Your answer is clearly different from mine. Look at your face. You are terrified of her. Should you not be in awe instead? Tell me what to think. I am not doing that. I'm sorry. You have nothing to apologize for. Velvet, you are beautiful and ethereal, the envoy of something unfathomable. Oh my, so glad you think so. Wait. Silas puts the foot down. She looks between Marinee and you with increased doubt. Goddess? Are you? No way. No. Is the Triune Goddess connected to the Abyss? You doubt it. If anything, the two are opposing forces. But are you certain of it? No. Silas jumped to the conclusion herself, and you can already see how her warmth towards you is back. I don't know. You have the feeling your answer does not matter. Silas has already made up her mind. What sort of story is she spinning in her head? One that favors you. How about you leave some breakfast for us as well? Sorry. The olives add a punch to the otherwise ordinary bread. When you are done eating, Marinee stands up and straightens her dress. That delightful shop we visited some days ago, the Hand of Piety, I'd like to visit it again. Let's go. We're going to the shop again. Silas leads you there. You begin to recognize squares and fountains, monuments, and other landmarks. As you approach the pawn shop, you notice a horse in black barding tied outside. That's bad news. We should wait until they're done. Until who is done? Do you see the horse? They're not allowed in the heart, unless they're used by high-rank people of the guilds, the kind you don't want to cross. Speak for yourself. Before Silas can quip back, a man with a black doublet and a cloak similar to yours leaves the shop. He tips his hat to you before mounting the horse. hours. It's only when he leaves that Silas resumes breathing. Cluttered, dusty, full of hidden treasures, the pawn shop is a sight to behold. The owner, Malik, was his name, stands out among the chaos in his striking garbs. Good morning. Please forgive my frown. Is there anything I can help you with? Not at the moment, no. I will be looking around. His eyes fall on you, but he looks away before you could call it staring. So, what do you want? The frown comes back. The whip? He came to remind me that my position is precarious, that my clothes violate the guild's rules, and that I need to be able to take collaterals within this night. How is your position precarious? He seemed to take great offense to my inheritance of the shop. He sits behind the counter, Sigh, then begins sifting through this pile of paper still. I'm curious. I do want to talk to the owner. He looks far too glad to push the document aside. Yes? His eyes fall into yours, and his words come back to you. His strange bout of passion. Some days ago, you told me something strange. You said you see my eyes in your dreams. The color, yes. It is so rare and unmistakable. Just like anyone else, my dreams are sequences of images stringed along by no logic. Yet there are always flowers at the corner of my vision, growing among the tiles of a room, adorning the headdress of a dancer, falling from murmuring lips. For years they have populated my every dream, every time I reach out to pluck them. His hands touches the riot of flowers carved on his arm. They wilt before my very eyes. Dreams like everyone else, very presumptuous. Hello there. Welcome in. Indeed. When did the dream start? Around 10 years ago. The flowers were infrequent at first, but gradually infested every single dream. There is something in his tale you recognize, yet can't quite express. The shadows that dance on his scarred arm acknowledge you, yet do not offer themselves to you. Hello there. Yes, it is I. Nice to see you again. Strange. Could Malik have some ties to the abyss? But enough about my nights. I don't believe it's proper to talk about them among strangers. Well, we don't have to stay strangers. Would you tell me your name then? I believe you already know mine. I'm Velvet. He repeats your name with a smile. Then his hand asks for yours. Why are we holding his hand? I'll shake hands with him. He chuckles, surprised. I'm sure it'll be a pleasure doing business with you. Which one of my marvels caught your eye? We have stuffed animals, theater masks, or the compass rose on the counter. It's the only item without dust you can see. Malik's fingers reach for the ornament. Carolise worships the triune goddess, distant as she is, but Javidians pledge themselves to one of the four winds. The point to the southeast seems to have a sheen to it. You have noticed. I am a follower. Luke. The far-reaching Keralishians call him Shiroko. You enjoy your time in the shop and leave once the bell rings, the half hour. Once you leave, Marinette shows you her purchase, a jeweled comb and a bottle of perfumed oil. It really is hard to make sure that you sit up straight. Okay. That's for us, right? For the house? It is. It smells nice as well. I don't think she would have purchased something if it smelled pleasant. With the citadel watching over you, you resume your walk. Do you find it easier to orient yourself? Somewhat. Do you think you could reach the rest from here? Of course. You have learned to hold your breath while wading through the alleys to avoid the stench. Sudden noise makes you stop in your tracks. Great clamor comes from a nearby street, and even without breathing, you recognize the smell in the air. Smoke.
Oh no.
You don't feel the warmth of the fire, but hear it sizzling. Flames erupts from the windows of a two-story building. A line of people passes buckets from the nearby well, but it's not enough.
Let's stay out of their way.
They are merely trying to contain the fire as it burns everything inside the building. Marinette? What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
She does not answer you. Her eyes are hostage to the burning building, and you realize she is holding her breath. Her hands, usually so elegant, are a knot of worry.
Breathe.
She doesn't hear you. You place your hand on her shoulder, and she jolts away. The smoke scratches at the back of your throat.
Thank you.
It's what she needs to come back to her senses. Marinette steps forward, and her arms gently sway in a frenzied motion. The sky crackles with thunder. Marinette claws it open, and a torrent comes crushing down from a tear in the air. Her eyes are wide and scared. Controlled by her motions, the water drenches the building and chokes out the blaze among the cries of the bystanders. The magic she controls is not kind. It summons winds that whip your hair on your face, and every time the water slams against the brick, its splashes are like ice-cold needles. Once the fire is extinguished, the soot-black water disappears as Marinette clenches her fist, a motion that repairs the tear in the sky as well. From the remains of the door, a figure emerges, a woman in rags, in her charred arm. A frail-looking boy coughs violently. She places the boy down, and you swear she smiles at you before disappearing into an alley. It's like we are in the middle of an ad. I will take a quick break and come back in just a moment. Please be patient with me, alright? Thank you for your patience. Let's continue, shall we? She places the boy down, and you swear she smiles at you before disappearing into an alley. I'll check on Marine. Her hands are shaking. You reach her side and gesture for her to leave the busy street.
Yes, that is for the best.
Nobody follows her. Nobody thanks her. All you see once you give one last glance at the crowd are fearful looks and the symbol of the goddess drawn in the air. You find refuge in an alley. Despite the condition of her hands, Marine begins flattening the creases of her dress.
That was terrifying. I should not have done that.
There you are.
A hooded figure suddenly emerges from the corner of your eye.
We have rules for a reason.
Suddenly paler, Silas steps in front of you to shield you from him.
Breaking them has consequences, even for someone like you.
I know.
Oh no. As she takes his hand, she turns towards you, resigned, despairing, and filled with regret.
May she muster the courage to escape those shackles.
Blue mist envelops them, and the two are gone before your very eyes.
That was the warden! The warden? The one that keeps the mages in check.
Marine used magic before. What was different this time?
Didn't you see what she did to the sky? She broke it!
Before today, Marine had only used her magic for quaint purposes, lighting candles and drawing baths. That same magic allowed her to harness the rage of a storm, fight against its wild nature to bend it to her will. She did follow the warden willingly. That means she'll be fine, right? Hers was resignation, not volition. Don't use those fancy words with me. You both look at the spot where Marine stood. I never thought I'd feel bad for her. The whisper enamored with Marine has always mentioned freedom, and now she has been taken away. Look at Silas for guidance. What shall we do? I know it's not what you want to hear. We can't do anything. With a grimace, you look again to where Marine stood. How about this? If we don't hear from the miss in a couple of days, we go to the Hand of Piety and ask the guy there to contact her for us. Malik? He delivered stuff to her before. He should be able to do that again, even if she's in Gao. Gale? It sounds like a plan. You know what else might help her? A little prayer at the temple. If she said so. That's not good. Oh, Lady of Dawn, brightest morning star, I know that the mist doesn't spare a second thought for you, but please, spare one for her. Silas's prayer is certainly unique. She did the right thing for once in her life and saved a bunch of people. It's only fair you help her now in return. O bringer of the new day, O Lady of Hope, watch over the mist and give her back to us, because I don't know what will happen to my new home with her gone. So that's where the unusual concern is coming from. May our will be in prayer. She elbows you late. May our will one in prayer. You spend one last moment in silence before Silas unclasps her hands. There, the lady heard us. But she likes when you do stuff for her, too, not only when you ask for stuff. Almost as if on cue, the young priest that welcomed you the day before approaches you. I hope I'm not interrupting you. I was just done. I don't imagine that you were here to offer your services. She is. I'll come back in the evening. It seems Silas has made the decision for you, and who you are to refuse some coin. The priest leaves to inform the crier outside, and after several minutes, he'll begin to approach your table with various missives. I have never heard of this word. How does one pronounce it? Your second encounter with someone from Banu Jadivar is with an elegantly dressed merchant. You gather from your interactions with her that the Javidian alphabet is completely different from the one used in Carolise, and that makes deciphering bad handwriting even more of a challenge. This looks like a misspelling of crepuscular. I will tell my friend to revise the difference between P and Q. Thank you. Among the lighter messages, you notice several funerary notices for the countryside. Among the lighter messages, you notice several. Oh, they're the same. Very few tears are shed. The people of Carolise seem accustomed to death. Every time your thoughts drift to Marine and her predicament, someone in need approaches you. I'm sorry, miss. I'd be grateful if you could read this for me. The servant hands you a crumbled scrap of paper with a scorch mark. The message is sooty and smells like smoke. It looks scavenged from a hearth. It says, "The infant had your brother's eyes." The use of the past tense gives you pause. Yes? I'm here to read, not to ask questions. The infant had your brother's eyes. She inhales sharply. The Lady of Dusk took such a liking to them. A silent sob shakes her frame, choked out by her raspy breath, her eyes transfixed onto the scrap of paper filled with tears. She hunches over the table, still struggling to breathe. Her hands cradle her belly. She is drenched in dread so thick it steals air from her lungs. Breathe, please. Velvet? Brother, she... One look is all he needs to know what to do. He offers her his hands and does not flinch when her grasp is shaky and desperate. Breathe in, breathe out. Try to do it when I tell you. He nods towards you, and then at some people that gathered to observe the situation. You nod back and address the bystanders. There is nothing to see here. When he leads her to one of the inner chambers, you follow them from a distance and stay at the doorstep. You're safe here. But my baby. A woman bearing the signs of a recent pregnancy. A message plucked from ashes and fire in an elegant script. An infant returned to dusk. You don't know for how long she cried. Lulled by the shadows and the priest's soothing words, the woman becomes so exhausted she falls asleep by the desk. The priest approaches you with a troubled whisper. I'm afraid to ask what caused this. You show him the scrap of paper, and he examines against the light. It bears no heraldry. Heraldry? A shame. A shame. Not like we'd be able to do much. His brow furrows. He's a servant of light, and yet shadows encroach upon his heart like thorns, making it bleed with rage. May she deny the murderers the succor of the heavens. Wouldn't the city guard be able to do anything? Resignation weighs heavy on his shoulders. This is the plot of a noble house, I fear. And judging from his quiet fury, they are untouchable. Would you mind keeping an eye on this poor soul? My brothers and sisters of the Prime are better equipped at dealing with this kind of matter than I'll ever be. I'll call for one of them. All right, brother? I never introduced myself, did I? You can call me Mattia. The woman drifts in and out of consciousness. She does not speak to you, but you stay close in case she needs anything. The priest and priestesses of the Prime that come to assist her bear a stretcher. She prefers to walk. What will happen to her? They will give her shelter and calming herbs and help her heal. Can nothing be done against those who murdered her child? May the ladies turn their backs against that accursed house. Brother Mattia's shoulders sag. I think you should call it a day. Hopefully, if Dawn wills it, tomorrow you'll have a myriad messages to read. You can't stop thinking about what happened. You can't get the image of the mourning woman out of your head. Her despair resonated with you. Felt like your own. It felt like a scrap of the abyss tucked into her heart. You find Silas waiting for you outside the temple. Do you feel a bit better? Can't say you do, no. Perhaps dinner will lift your spirits? Before we go to the Rose, can we stop by the seamstresses? A group of people is amiably chatting outside the Stitch and Seam. You can go in. We're waiting for our clothes to be pressed. Thank you. The head seamstress does not seem to be nearby, so you take the opportunity to look around. Anelia is in her usual spot on the floor, hunched over her sewing. The fabric she's working with is black. I thought this shop didn't do stuff for the guilds. Welcome back. Again. She follows the line of your gaze. That's not for the guild. The poor girl lost her mother and didn't have a mourning vow. She hasn't made much progress on your blouse, I'm afraid, but it wasn't a rushed job, was it? You can offer your condolences. I think she'd appreciate it. When she sees you approach, Anelia puts down the needle and dons her gloves. The black shawl on her lap is almost done, and is embroidered with grapevines and... Anelia, I'm so sorry. Her eyes swell with tears. I had told you, right? How I hadn't heard from her in so long. One of the guards came to me and they didn't find her, but she have left a message on her pillow, and if only I had gone to visit her sooner. I'm sure the Lady of Dusk welcomed her with open arms. Anelia nods. How cold of the whisper. How cold of her mother to ignore the tears that flow over her daughter's cheeks. Once they dry, Anelia looks at Silas and you. Is Miss Marinette not with you today? She was, busy. Hall stuff. Very important. You wish to ask Anelia about the heirlooms of her house, the proof of her lineage, but it is hardly appropriate. After giving her your condolences once more, you leave the workshop. I feel bad for her. But hey, once she feels better, she can sell that pretty shawl for a lot of coin. I don't think she intends to sell it. Maybe if I ask really nicely. Do you need a morning shawl? Not really, I just think I could spin a nice story around it, make it the real last heirloom of her house. It's stitched new. Nobody would believe it. It's well kept. Even has the family crest on it, embroidered by the last head of the house. Wait. Yeah? Do you recognize her family crest? Yes. It's from House Castalden. Why are you making that face? How do you know? Well, when you deal with items that change hands very often, it's handy to know what is legit and what is not. So if I were to tell you that we need to recover one of the heirlooms of her house... No way. I'm serious. Why? You don't have a good explanation for her, one she would like without the dead whispering to you. Trust me, this is kind of my speciality, so I'm in. But first things first, it's dinner time. First things first, dinner time. You have been to the Rose enough times, you know the way. Nice, you're getting used to the city. The inn is quieter than usual. Instead of playing, Alfian is talking with two other minstrels. I haven't picked up my salary up today. We'll have to go with something less fancy. You order. I'll join you in a while. You make your way to Alfian, who winks at the two performers before turning towards you. Greetings. Good evening. I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? I've been doing great. That's a relief. I was worried about unbalancing your humors, but it seems it was the correct thing to do. Aside from you looking more alive, I don't feel any more changes. You haven't had much progress on that whole the dead speak to me, have you? I have, but what the voice wants goes against the wishes of the living. My oh my, that doesn't sound pleasant. If there is anybody who can understand your struggles, it's Alfian, who overcame them much the same. I'll be happy to lend you my ear. Two heads are better than one. How did you know that by helping Silas, I'd awaken one of the voices? I didn't. Mine was a call. Mine was call it a gut feeling. If he said so. You tell him about Anilia, about the relief she felt upon losing her title, and how her mother is telling you to disregard her wishes to make her noble again. Hello there, Mako. Who is the muscle-bulked martini? I didn't even think of that. I think you should tell Martini. Oh yes. He is kind of like us. How should I say it? One with magical powers? Of course, Mako, anytime. Send Teeny a screen grab right now. Go ahead, screen grab it for me. He does have long, luscious hair, though. His name is Alfian. That sounds terribly complicated. I was hoping you would have some advice for me. Well, I I don't. So much for two heads better than one. The voices that were guiding me never really asked me to do anything worth questioning. Were the tasks he was assigned too easy, or are his morals loose? My morals are ironclad. How did you know what I was thinking? It was plain on your face. Anyway, I do have a piece of, not advice per se, but a tidbit of knowledge I could share with you, since I went through all of this before. Do you know what happens once you satisfy one of the souls bound to you? Not quite. Appease them, so that it might sever the bonds that keep them tied to this world, and they'll become yours to, he searches for the correct term, consume, devour, eat, make yours in a sense. Don't make that face. They wanted this in life, and still wish for it in death. They want to be consumed by you. Why else would they have offered their lives in exchange for yours? Should you not keep your voice down? Nobody's paying attention, but you're right. Where was I? Right, the souls are what strengthens you. If you refuse their bidding, I think they'll disperse, returning the power to the abyss instead of giving it to you. That means I need to free them and consume them? Not unless it makes you feel awful about it. Atri refused some of them and does not regret her decision. The name sounds familiar. Is she not the admiral honored with a square in her name? Did I just mentioned Atri? Oops. Did you not meet him by her statue? Not that Atri. Not the admiral, right? Oh no, it is her. Centuries old, centuries stubborn, with a penchant for nagging. You've seen her already, I believe. Clears his throat and begins imitating her voice. I don't need to look fancy, Alfie. She told me some time ago, so I warned her. You're going to scare people away if your skin keeps splitting as you talk. So be it, was her reply. Guess what? The following day, Atri threw herself in the canal to save someone. Back on dry land, the poor thing she had rescued was so terrified of her, he jumped back into the water to escape. And that's what convinced her to get that dark hood she wears all the time. I did want to tell her that I was right all along, but she looked plenty pissed off on her own. That was quite the story. What sort of minstrel would I be if I wasn't able to tell one? Your friend is looking for you, by the way. He waves at Silas. Velvet, do you know him? Not quite. Not yet. Dare I say, I'd love for that to change. Huh? Well, good luck with tonight's performance. She puts her hands on your shoulders and pushes you away. Sorry about that, but I'm running low on funds. Can't cover his dinner, and I'd be really sad if I had to share my stew. You didn't find a table, so you eat by the counter. Do you think the miss is alright? She must be. Lady of Dawn ate her. Hello there, Happy. Hi, Choco. I mean this with the utmost respect, like absolute respect. Like with honor and kindness, but I am barking like a dog over here. Happy. Have you forgotten my name already? And it's very nice to see you. Let me give you a shout out. There's 3 dogs in chat now. Are there? My. Should I be running a dog daycare now? Beautiful things make my mind go. Oh, sweetheart. You are also the beautiful as well. Not to mention, it's not every day you get to see a slime as fine as you. The band of ruffians of last time is nowhere to be found. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well yourself. Maybe the miss will send you a letter. Perhaps she can't. You both retire for the night. Uneasy thoughts keep you awake. I do worry for Marine, though. Whose emote is that? Tickled me a little bit. The blaze that was destroying the building terrified her, following the so-called warden even more so. You don't know how long you stay awake. Eventually your limbs and eyelids grow heavy, and you drift into a dreamless sleep. Are there only dogs in chat? I do like myself a cat, though. Is there no cats in chat? Morning comes without the words of the abyss to guide you. Wakey wakey. When you open your eyes, Silas is looming over you with a smile. Let's go to the well. There's a commotion in the small square with a wash basin. The door of one of the houses is wide open, and you can hear weeping from within. Several people are going in and out. Some of them wear robes similar to Brother Matthias with a dark red stole instead of the yellow he dons. May the Lady of Dusk guide their step. The priest carries someone out in a cot. A sheet has been laid on the body to cover it, and it bears old bloodstains. I recognize that lady. Silas points at a woman staggering out of the doorstep to give a final look at the body being carried away. You recognize her as well. You heard her loudly complain about a family member having violent coughing fits. This is hard to watch. You quickly refreshen yourself and head back to the safe house. Did I hallucinate you wanting to find the heirlooms of House Castalden, or... You did not. I need to find them. And then what? And then I will ask the seamstress what she wants. I'm not following. To reclaim her lost title, Anilia needs both the papers and an heirloom. I don't think she'll want to get that back. An heirloom with the house crest is worth a lot of coin. A lot. Getting your hands on it probably means... She wiggles her fingers. Which happens to be something I'm good at, and probably aren't. So why not resell it? We can split the profits. It's not ours to sell. Or to steal, but that's what we're going to do anyway. Do we have to steal the heirloom? Well, we first need to know what we're looking for. A plate, a pin, a dagger. Once we know that, we need to learn who has it. If it's for sale somewhere, we can buy it. Well, the Miss could. Since she's not here, we need to get clever. Anelia said that her mother sold the last heirloom some months ago. The lady sounded like the type to have the house crest on display when she strutted out. I'm thinking a pin, or a necklace or earrings, something that can be worn. Where would we find something like shadows float like specks of dust in front of your eyes? Hand of piety. It's not the only pawn shop around, but it's the only ones that wouldn't ask questions. We can start there. Silas turns towards the door. It's kind of a good thing that the Miss isn't with us, huh? I don't think she'll like my methods. You're even more worried about her than I am? I hope she's alright. I bet she is. Let's take the Southern Bridge today. There's a grocer nearby that I can visit to get us breakfast. The Alley of the Heart are a far cry from its sun-drenched streets. Silas doesn't mind the stench, and guides you through a string of them to reach your destination much faster, until you spot a figure, clad in rags, leaning against a wall. Hey, it's the crazy grandma. It's Atri, the centuries-old admiral, an envoy like Alfian and you. It's Atri. What's she doing here, you wonder? Dressed like a vagrant and covered in boils and scars. Approach her, Atri. You speak softly to shield Silas from the truth. So that blabbermouth managed to keep a secret for a grand total of 3 days. It might be a new record for him. She approaches you. Now that you know, allow me. She bites her thumb and fresh blood spills out. What the? It looks like she wants to touch your forehead with her bloodied finger. Let her. Despite her rough skin, her touch is gentle. She smears some of her blood on your forehead, and for a moment your vision clouds drowned by shadow. When you touch her forehead, you don't feel any blood. Huh? I'll see you around. What does she do to you? What just happened? I have no idea. You did not even ask Atri about the voices. Perhaps you should meet her alone. How come that you show up and I go from seeing the grandma once a year to seeing her twice in the same night? You shrug. Oh well. The hand of piety isn't far, and you begin to recognize the streets and their quirks, the plants that flank a doorstep, the wobbly blinds that hang on rusted hinges, chipped paint that reminds you of a wing. Silas scratches her nose when you enter the pawn shop. I always feel the need to sneeze when I enter. Good morning. Oh, looking sharp. Now that he's not wearing that robe anymore, you can see more of the design on his forearm, half swallowed by the roll-up sleeve of his shirt. Thank you. It should be enough to have the guild whip stop breathing down my neck, even if the doublet is not ready. Do you need anything? We do. He's happy to put the rag in his hands away. The last heirloom of House Castalden recently left the hands of the matron lady. Any chance it was sold here? How recently are we talking about? Months. Unspecified amount. Malik throws a glance at the counter, still drowned in documents. I did need a reason to go through that pile. You do that. I'll look around for something with a family crest. Just look through the document.
Do you need help?
I don't believe it'd be appropriate for you to go through the documents.
His eyes lock with yours.
But who am I to deny you?
It's decided then. Malik takes a loose page from the pile and shows it to you. The handwriting is shaky and dots of ink mark the edges. He puts that aside to take one from the bottom of the pile. The same handwriting is much clearer.
The papers explain themselves, really. If you'll excuse me for a moment.
What was that? His voice is strained. He raises the drape by the counter and disappears into the concealed hallway. Start your search. The most recent records are almost unintelligible. You managed to decipher some of the words. But there is no mention of House Castalden or the family crest of wheat and vines. The older documents are more legible and paint a grim picture. Desperate people trading valuables for a fraction of their value, and interest rates that become steeper the more precious the item is. Malik comes back with eyes red from weeping. You already started. Are you alright? No. Mace looks scorched my heart to melt away the bitter grief. He sits behind the counter and begins reading. After a while, Silas approaches you with a yawn. Tell me you have found something. Guess not. These records only go so far. You have older ones. Search those. I suppose I could close early and do that. Why close early? They're kept in the attic, and I'd rather not move them too much. You're being real helpful for a guy we only saw 2 times. Why? You're the first friendly faces I've seen since my return. The guild whip doesn't count. Huh. I could help you look. Much appreciated. You can come back after I close. I'll see you soon then. The stitch and seam isn't far. Do you mind if we stop by? Let's. I wonder if the seamstress worked on your blouse at all. It's a short walk from the pawn shop, one you have committed to memory by now. There are less people in the workshop than usual. Velvet, and Silas too. Hello. Anelia has completed her shawl. It makes her look much older. Or is it that a consequence of grief? The embroidery is unfinished in some spots, but you can clearly see the curling vines and wheat adorning the hem of the piece. You must be here for the blouse. The preliminary fitting was today, but I'm afraid I haven't made any progress. There's no need to apologize, I understand. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Everybody has been kind to me. If you come back in 3 days or so, I should have the blouse done. Don't push yourself. The poor thing. I wanted to ask her about the heirloom, but I think she would have burst into tears. It's a good thing you didn't. Silas scratches her arm, desperate to think about something other than grief. Want to see if you managed to go from here to the temple by yourself? It shouldn't be too hard. You look at the citadel perched atop the city. It sees all, watches all. yet those inside it do not. Well, hello there, Velvet. I heard I briefly made an appearance on your stream earlier. You sure did, Martini. Who told you that? Let me see. If we could... Well, not really, but this man here. I got pinged twice, of all things. Not only once, but twice. Can you believe? I'm sure they were so excited to see you. But this man right here certainly does remind me of you. And it seems like for Igor and Mako, they think about the same. I love and appreciate that I got pinged twice. They were so excited to tell you. He has amazing hair. I am honored. He does, doesn't he? Sigh's two-toned hair. OMG Martini. It's not just that. What are the chances that it's also white and red? I had braids in my hair yesterday. Oh, it was meant to be, Martini dear. It was meant to be. I am taking over the Todoroki cameos for real. You sure are. Thank you for coming back to tell us that. That is hilarious. That you got pinged twice. You passed a house that was burned down in yesterday's blaze. The smell of smoke still lingers. It was also Martini's colors, yes. The white and red, or the silver and red, very beautiful. I love the look and vibe of whoever the blonde on the right side of the screen is. Woo. Her name is Silas. She is pretty cool, I must say. Very, very street smart. And she's really strong. If only the mist could see you now, getting used to real life. What do you mean? She was all about fate this, fate that. But fate doesn't feed you. The mundane has encroached upon most of your day, but that hasn't stripped you or your powers or your purpose. Bring forth the darkest hour, destroy the false sun, set the abyss. Fate spins its web in strange ways. Since when is fate a spider? That's where the blue bobs come in. Once you reach the temple, Silas wishes you farewell. Well, I'll see you in the evening. See you later. Silas is almost like our bodyguard in a way, too. She takes care of us. Well, she took care of us. She was paid to take care of us in a way. But we became pretty close friends. The day is quiet. The messages and letters mundane, I'll say for one. Do I want her or do I want to be her? The thing is, in this game, she is also one of the love interests you can go for. My love interest that I am interested in is not Silas, But the other friend, Marine. But if you are curious, we can always switch it to Silas. Hey, you write as well? I do. You take a sheet of rough paper from under the counter. I need you to write this. The dream is the same every night. Please follow your own heart. I really don't mind if you're curious about Silas. Let me know when to look and I'll woo for your choice of partner. Thank you. Oh, you know what, Martini dear? Your doppelganger is also a love interest, by the way. I'll just mention that. You wet the quill in the ink and begin transcribing his words. It has 4 eyes, wings, and a crown made of teeth. It's slimy like algae, yet its talons are sharp like an eagle. The description of his dream doesn't make much sense, but you don't comment on that. Now that just sounds like you trying to indirectly flirt with me. Oh, I don't dare. Because if Vanilla Bean comes in, I have a feeling I won't be able to win. You know her, and her riz. It speaks, but I can't hear it. When I wake up, my eyes are filled with tears, and the sight of the sea makes me weep with longing. He scratches his arm. That's it. Don't write the rest. It's quite the dream you're having. Damn nightmare has been plaguing me for days. I hope this is not a waste of time. That is true, Bean does have a lot of riz. She is just so natural. She is a natural flirt. Everybody falls in love with her. Everybody. She can certainly make you bark at her feet. That's Bean for you. The address is to... Bloody hells, I can't believe I'm doing this. To the Lady of Dreams. What is it that you're doing exactly? Well, there's this lady that lives in La Marina who's able to tell you the meaning of dreams. This one's been bothering me for a while, so I figured I could ask her. You read what you transcribed. It still doesn't make much sense, even for a dream. I hope she'll be able to figure it out. He rolls up the message, tucks a coin inside, and walks away, a picture of misguided hope. As the bell tolls, the day comes to an end. Here's what you made today. Brother Mattia hands you some coins. The Lady of Dawn smiles upon you for coming so often. Brother, have you ever heard of the Lady of Dreams? Is that a new moniker for the Lady of Dusk? I don't believe so. You tell him about the strange message you crafted for the sailor. I should probably report that to my superiors, but it sounds harmless so far. Please let me know if more people come to you about this Lady of Dreams. You wish Brother Mattia a good evening. Grab your cloak and leave the temple. Silas is nowhere to be found. Miss, a well-dressed young man approaches you. The old scar next to his eye catches your attention. Then you notice the one on his lips. It's in the same place as Silas. Silas has a message for you. Something about a last-minute commitment in the evening. Are you a friend of hers? You could call me that, yes. She suggested you go to the pawn shop and help the owner, whatever that might mean. Thank you for letting me know. His eyebrows bow in acknowledgement, and he leaves with a rapier bobbing on his hip. Why do Silas and him have matching scars? I say Silas, I mean Silas. Silly me. It's a short walk from the temple to the pawn shop. From the open windows, delicious wafts of roast, herbs, and lemon remind you that it's dinner time. You close your hand around the pawn shop's door. It's locked, but the inside of the shop is lit by candles. I guess I'll knock. You look inside to see if there's any movement. But no, Malik really left unattended flames in his shop. After seeing the destruction caused by fire just a few days ago, the thought makes you uneasy. You knock again. After a couple of seconds, you spot some movement inside, and the door opens with a metallic clack. Hello again. Did you come for the archives? Yes, I did. Well, come in. He carries with him a hearty smell you can't quite identify. I did not expect you to come at this time. Were you cooking? The nearby tavern is too crowded for my tastes, so I thought, why not try to replicate their hunter's stew? I'm afraid mine might be burning right now. I can lock the door and snuff out the candles for you. You just invited yourself to dinner, but he doesn't seem to mind. I appreciate it. He disappears behind the drape, and you follow him after taking care of the door and fires. The hearty scent is much more intense in the dimly lit hallway. Once you found a corner, you find yourself in a waiting room, sliced by the shadow of a chandelier. Its warm light bounces across the golden frames on the wall and mercilessly spotlights every bit of dust on the polished wood. Look at the paintings. Several family portraits hang on the wall. An austere-looking woman and a smiling man stand next to each other in the painting closest to you. Their arms are draped over an empty chair. Looking around, you find a family portrait with Malik in it. He looks much younger, in his teens. His cheeks are hairless, but the scar is already there. He looks miserable. Scar splits his face in most of the portraits. You see his age regress as he shrinks, and his cheeks turn chubbier, until you spot a painting in which the scar is absent. The date suggests that it was taken 25 years in the past. He looks very young in the painting. How old could he be? Oh no. Malik peeks at you from the kitchen. I knew I should have covered them. He grins, but his cheeks look darker. Luckily, the stew did not burn, and it's almost ready. You don't mind waiting until dinner is done before sifting through the archives, I hope. You might not need to eat, but he does. I can't wait. I should have enough for two. The kitchen is a cramped space, half concealed by yet another drape. The pot simmering on the hearth diffuses a lovely aroma into the air. I did not expect your living quarters to be so ostentatious, close to the shop. My parents spent a smart fortune to make sure the maid would always have something to dust off. Where's the maid now? I relieved her from her duties once I realized she was taking a liking to my late mother's possessions. He takes a large spoon and checks the consistency of the stew. It's ready. The stew he places on the side table bears all the colors of summer vegetables. You are not familiar with the spices he used, but you know their price must be hefty. did you do before coming here? If he told you he worked as a cook, you would believe him. Back in Banu Javidar, I was an artist whose canvas was skin. Ah, I see. There is an ad incoming. We're going to take a really quick break, and we're going to continue. Please be patient. Are we back? It seems like it. Thank you for your patience. Needle and ink and stamps, of course, are just some of the tools I employed. Slides its hand over his scarred arm. Thank you, Acre. But the knife is my favorite. Sound quite nostalgic. I thought I had found my life's calling, yet here I am, back in the house I was born in. He looks around. It has changed. It's even more impressively full of stuff. I wonder if he'll ever go back. I don't look forward to yet another night-long journey by sea. Can't you do what you used to there, here? I would need to close the shop first, and as you can imagine, that is not going to be easy. Besides, Heron Carolise, inked skin is only found among sailors. Is it different in Banu? There, it's tradition to ink symbols of protection and good fortune on the face, the neck, and the hands. The massive, delicate scars on his arm sounds nothing like what he's describing. I'm afraid you won't find any tradition in my masterpiece. What you find in it are shadows that don't feel pliable, like those cast by the chandelier. Instead of acknowledging you like the rest, those on his scarred arm remain inert. What you find in it, how could it be? And why do none of the whispers have anything to say about it? Malik did mention having strange dreams somehow connected to the color of your eyes. Once you finish eating dinner, he collects the bowls and leaves them soaking in. That was delicious. I'm glad you liked it. Are you ready to be horrified by the archives? They can't be that bad. He leads you up 2 flights of stairs. The second floor is a cramped balcony with a single door. He opens it and shows you the inside. Hello, Kayla dear. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I hope you are well. The attic has been repurposed as a maze of shelves filled with records. Dust dances in the air, catching all the light that floods the room. You're very sleepy. Well, sweetheart, I think it's time for a nap. Shall we? A nap does sound good right about now. Do you understand my reluctance now? You approach one of the shelves. The records cover irregular periods of time. A month when business was slow. A night when it was flourishing. Anelia said the heirloom was sold some months in the past. I'd like for us to cover the last half a year. I wish too close to dinner time. What about an early bedtime after dinner? Would you like that? That makes the job a smidgen easier. The shelves used to be arranged with the precision I used to deride. You can't imagine me being a brat? Good. He chuckles. I'm not particularly proud of those years. You pull out a thin logbook. It covers the span of 3 days. You probably should. Yes, why not? When you have a belly full of food, I'm sure you will feel better when... Let's get to work. This will take hours. It will. You get to work. You read about the insect collection's old ceremonial garbs sold almost immediately. Speckles, Spectacles, carpets, woven hats. It's terribly boring. Earliest I've went to bed the past few nights has been 3:30 a.m. Earliest? Earliest? Can you be by your bed by 9 today? You know what the worst part is? Losing your sense of time? That's quite terrible. No. What is it then? It's the first time I've entered the archives in over a decade, and I will have to make use of this place in the future. You went to bed at 5:30? 5:30. Well, Kayla dear, I think we need to work on our sleeping habits. I haven't made a big show of reopening the shop, you see, because that is bound to attract attention. I wonder if I'll soon be contacted by nobles interested in renewing their patronage. Sleeping then is a whole other can of worms. Well, I know it's hard, but you are tired, so hopefully it will aid you to sleep tonight. You make it sound like a bad thing. The hand was kept afloat by people whose names never made the records. Most of their collaterals were immediately purchased by private clients. He does not speak ill of the dead. He's still grieving, but his unsaid words hang between you nonetheless. His parents were crooks. So look, devour my words. It's not something I should share so liberally. At the mention of the name, the shadows nestled in his scars darkened. Who or what is Shalouk? Herlicians call him Shiroko. He's the ever-burning wind, the patron of travel and commerce, one of the four winds of Banu. He is the one I pledge myself to. Is he a god? Malik nods. I'm not supposed to speak of the four winds so openly. The goddess is quite protective of her faithful. What do you mean? I was taught to hide my prayers to the Javandian gods and profess the goddess only. Granted, this was a decade ago. Times must have changed. You resume your terribly boring task. The curfew bell rings while you're working, and the last sliver of light disappears from the sky. It's quite late. Shall I escort you home? Appreciate it, thank you. He leads you through the waiting hall and reveals a side entrance. Where to? The Eastern Hold. He cocks an eyebrow. Not the sort of place I'd visit at night. The heart is lit by oil lamps and patrolled. You barely round a corner before you bump into Silas. Silas! Hey! I was just coming to pick you up. So any information on the heirloom? Regrettably not. Bummer. You can leave Velvet in my hands. I'm her bodyguard. Malik bows to you. In that case, may the far traveler guide your steps, granting you sanctuary where enemies abound. Farewell. Malik doesn't have to walk far to return home, and Silas waits for him to round the corner before she beckons you to follow him. He looks like an easy target, just making sure he gets home safe. She leaves after she hears the door lock. How did your little job go? Better than expected. I made some nice coin in exchange for... She shows you a small abrasion on her wrist. One teeny tiny scratch. In exchange? Well, you know, the risk comes with the job and all that. She avoids telling you exactly what she did, which probably makes her little job an unsavory. You chat while in the heart, but once you cross the twin bridges, the darkness and silence make you alert to your surroundings. Once you're home, you hide under the sheets. The soft shadows lull you into a lake of pure darkness, from which an unearthly voice rises. You are to bring forth the darkest hour, dispel the lies of the false sun, eradicate its poison. What is the false sun exactly? It is the blasphemy of light, a falsehood that drowns the darkest truth of the abyss. Why do you always speak in riddles? No answer comes. I think this is a great part to pause on, shall we? Save this right now. Let's save it here. The last time we played this game was in September of last year. It really has been a while, hasn't it? Let me bring you back. Get back to the scene. Yes, I know it's shorter than my usual streams, but I hope you enjoyed a little bit of reading with me. And I know that this visual novel is not for everyone, but I do appreciate you all for stopping by and taking your time for your greetings. Now, I think it's time for us to choose another streamer to rate. See who is available. Thank you, Acres dear. Thank you for coming by and chatting with us. Who is available? I want you guys to meet maybe an interesting character. One of the reasons why is because this streamer is a cat called Kevin. His name is Spooky Cat Kevin. I think we can say hello to him. And if you like his content, be sure to give him a follow. I'm sure you'll love his company. Let me begin our raid message. Shall we say? In fact, I don't think we really need a raid message. I think just rating is fine. If you enjoy his content, be sure to give him a follow. Let me just get the raid started, shall we? He is playing Hunt Showdown 1896, and he's a horror variety gamer as well. So, thank you for coming by, Martini here. It's always a pleasure to see you all. Let's say hello to a cat, shall we? Alright. I want to say a big thank you again to Young Professor and FaZe for the sub and gift sub. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all for your support as well. I'm so happy to see you. It has been such a long time since I came by. I hope that I can be here more often. Alright then. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my loves.